All right, well, what do we got here? This is the start of a little series where I'm going to assemble, in my mind, the ultimate hunting rifle. And look, obviously, it's the ultimate hunting rifle for me. I'm specifying everything on the thing, and this is the first part that has arrived. Now, I ordered this back in December, and it is from Patriot Valley Arms. I own one of their Jet Blast muzzle brakes, and it works pretty well. So I had them spin up a barrel. And so you see this is one of their Osprey barrels, and so it's a cut rifle blank. I'm going to be using a Terminus Action, and so this is going to be chambered in 7 PRC. It's a 1 8 twist rifling. It's a 3B contour, threaded on the end because I'm planning on using a suppressor. And this thing is fluted and Cerakoted, so let's pull it out. I have not opened this, so this is going to be live. Figuring out, hey, how does she look? Okay, so right there at the end, it looks like the protector has been cracked. I wonder if in shipping, if this thing slipped. I'll make sure, and I'm going to definitely look on that edge to see if anything has been marred. And so there we go. So it's Cerakoted in, I believe this is graphite, and that's because the receiver is going to be DLC coated, and they said this was going to be the closest match to that DLC coating. So you can see, fluted barrel, it is 20 inches, which is fairly short, and the reason for that is I intend to really only be using this suppressed, and there's trade-off, right? Obviously, with the 7PRC, you want more velocity. That's part of the intent. However, I didn't want a, frickin' musket, right? I didn't want something that was crazy long. So, based on what I had seen, a 20-inch barrel ought to give enough velocity while not being overly long. So let's check out the muzzle end and see how she turned out. Looks good. I don't see any damage there, so that's nice. On the receiver end, let's take a look at those threads, and everything looks good and clean there. So far, so good. I don't have the receiver yet. So I ordered all this stuff back in December. This thing just showed up yesterday, so April. So it took, over 3 months to get the barrel. I still don't have the receiver. I still don't have the stock. So it's taken a while to get this stuff right now. And so, barrel's first thing came in, it's first thing we're going to look at. So I can't, check it to fit the receiver yet, but we can bore scope it. So let's take a look inside the bore and see what kind of a job they did. I think this is a test long bore scope. It's nothing fancy, just a cheap Amazon bore scope. Okay, so let's get in here. Let's see what we can see. Let's start with the muzzle end. Into the muzzle. All right, so right there does look like right there at the muzzle end. I don't know, that looks like it's probably grease. So I'll run a patch through this in a second and see. That doesn't look to be in the metal. I think that's just either some grease or something that slipped in the end, some trash or something. On these bore scopes, it can be kind of hard to differentiate swerve for something that's not been completely fleshed out, because I haven't cleaned this thing at all and yet. All right, so yeah, overall, again, I think assuming that stuff is either surface or, grease or something that cleans out, I don't see any issues. The actual work, the metal work looks good. I don't see any burrs or anything. Let's get down here to the chamber. There's the lead. Man, that looks nice. Looks like a really good job. Very good transition there. No chatter marks. Very good finish. Get into the neck area. Yeah, just reflective, shiny. Very good looking chamber. So far, like I said, initial thoughts are the machine work looks excellent. So I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to clean it real good, and then we'll take another look. And we're back. Put some hops through it, cleaning patches, some dry patches. Now let's take another look at it. Okay, so let's go in from the chamber end and see what we see now. Yeah, it looks like all that. There's still a couple specks, but looks like basically all that stuff really pushed mostly out. So like maybe just some dirt or grease or something, some specks. So I'm not really seeing anything now. Tried to dry patch it, but there's still a little bit of oil spots. Let's get down here toward the end, because that's right at the muzzle is where I saw a big speck. So right there. But it looks like most of it just pushed out. So I'm pretty sure that stuff is just some trash. So I'll probably just clean this a little bit more. And again, I just use hops. I didn't use any brush at all. Just patches that were wet. So I think some of that was just dirt. So nothing showing up after cleaning, it looks like. So yeah, everything's fine. No issues at all, I don't think. I don't really see anything that concerns me at all. And like I said, the machining looks very nice. And like the actual like chamber work looks just really well done. Very, very clean, very smooth, well polished, great finish. You know, I don't do like competition shooting. Bit of scuff. That may have been the cleaning rod may have scuffed right there just a little bit, and there's a little bit of just dirt. So yeah, I'm gonna clean this thing up, and I don't do like competition stuff, so I don't see a lot of like crazy high-end barrels, but you know, this looks pretty good to me. So ultimately, you know, it comes out in the shooting, so we're going to have to see how it shoots. And that's unfortunately going to be a while. I've been informed it'll probably be another month at least before I get the receiver for this thing. I don't have an ETA on the stock just yet, so it'll be a bit on the stock as well. But one other thing we can check, the last thing to look at, I do have this Manson Go Gauge. I also have no Go Gauge because whenever I assemble this thing, I'm going to make sure that everything fits well. And so I'm going to take a look at how that thing's shouldering in there just to double check, make sure that everything is looking good. So let me get down in there. Now we can just look down the tube. There we go. Yeah. Everything, if I pull this out just a touch, get a look at that fit. Looks nice. So everything, again, just, this doesn't really test anything. It's just, you know, there you go. That's what it's going to look like in there. And then the last thing I can check is with actual ammunition. So I've got some Hornady 180 grain ELD match. So this is just factory Hornady loaded ammo, just to see kind of where that thing, so definitely goes in there a ways. But I was just kind of seeing how it interacts with the lead there. But I don't see any issues. It's not jammed, you know. So I was checking basically how long the chamber is and the lead and stuff, and these aren't jamming into the lands or anything, so no issues on that. So far, nothing to say much other than everything looks pretty good, as much as I can tell by looking at it. In a barrel, you can't tell much by looking at it, but what I can tell, it looks like, so I probably will clean it just a bit more just to make sure I get all the junk out, and I will add a little bit of like a preservative oil, like something to kind of seal it, because it will be a bit until I can assemble this rifle. And so while it's sitting, I don't want this thing to rust. So I'll probably leave this thing good and kind of oiled. I've got some stuff that leaves a bit of a film, so I'll probably use that. But yeah, so far so good. So that's going to wrap this up. I know, you know, maybe a weird video because all I can do is look at a barrel, but again, this is going to be a multi-part series. As I get stuff, we'll go over it, and then as I assemble and test this thing out, we'll just walk through the process. So I hope you stick around. I think it'll be interesting. I'm really excited to have this thing ready to go this fall for hunting season. But that's it. So as always, I appreciate your time.